Welcome to the Old Guru Show. My name is Steve Munson, and I am the Guru. And today we have in front of us a magnificent piece, actually two pieces, of Texas history. That's right, Texas history, as in the Republic of Texas. What we have on the left there is Horatio Chriesman. That's his powder horn with a pigskin pouch. And on the end of it is, in the plug, is carved the Star of Texas. It's a magnificent horn. It's got a tag on it where it was loaned to the daughters of the Texas Revolution. And on the right we have a sword, and we'll do a separate video on that, and it's also from Texas, the 1st Texas Artillery. And this horn here is magnificent. It is screaming Texas history. Now let me give you a little bio, excuse my wiggling here, on Horatio Chriesman. Let me spell it. Chriesman. I'm sure I butchered his name. But anyway, he was born in Virginia in 1797. He moved to Kentucky and learned his skills, and honed his skills actually, as a surveyor in the Kentucky Territory. He was an Indian fighter in Kentucky and on down into Texas. He moved to Texas prior to the Revolution and became a captain in 1824 in the Texas Artillery. The same artillery that sword depicts next to it. That's the 1st Texas Artillery. This guy was the surveyor for Stephen Austin when he formed his colony in the Texas Territory. And he was actually authorized by the government of Mexico to form this colony. And Mr. Chriesman, actually, he surveyed it all. And, you know, he was an Indian fighter, and the Indians in Texas, where this colony was formed, they hated intruders. They didn't take any prisoners, they just killed you. And they figured that these things that Horatio was carrying around were things that were almost magical. The Indians said that they stole the property, they stole their souls, and that was his surveying equipment. So anyway, he was locked right in there with Stephen Austin. And as the Texas Revolution rolled around, and he was in another fight for freedom from Mexico prior to that. And anyway, he was enlisted with Sam Houston under this Texas Artillery. So he was one of the founding fathers, and Stephen Austin loved him. This guy went to Texas with nothing but his surveying tools and his buckskins. He said he was so poor that he stayed and lived in his buckskin shirt. He didn't have any clothes for a whole summer, his first summer there in Texas, throughout all the heat and that. But this guy was a patriot. He's listed. There's bronze plaques about this guy. It's incredible. And so he's one of the top tier, Texas founders, Republic of Texas founders. And we're going to get up and get close. You hardly ever see this. I love the pouch because it's made of pigskin. And the horn is wonderfully done. And of course the sword, we're going to do a separate one on that. That's was actually used up in the Civil War. And this gentleman lived until 1878. He fathered 11 children. And he had one boy, and I think he himself was attached to the Confederate Army during the Civil War. So this is an interesting piece of history and top tier Texas history. So I'm gonna get up and get some close-ups of it, and I'm shooting this with a different camera. So if you see me wiggling around, remember I'm an old man, forgive me. But I'm gonna try to do the best shots I can do for you and get close on this piece of historical Texas goods here. So I want you to see them. And so I'm going to turn the camera off and reposition it and see what we can do here. Okay, I've got the powder horn sitting up on a little display tier there. Hope not wiggle too much. But you can see the label, the period label that was decoupaged on the side of it. And that's the Providence, actually. Some Providence. It was on display at the Daughters of the Texas, state of Texas Republic. And this was on loan by his daughter, Sarah Chriesman. And that label depicts that. But I'm going to get up here and try to get you some close-ups of it, and get you a better view of this, because you ain't going to see this thing outside of a museum, and hopefully we can get up close to where it's like you're just standing there looking at it. So bear with me, because I'm going to move around now. So here we go. All right, I'm going to try to hold this as steady as I can. And it says Captain Horatio Chriesman Powder Horn, loan of Sarah Armstrong Christian, and that was his daughter, one of his 11 children, to the Daughters of the Lone Star Republic. And she was in Galveston, and that's what it says there at the bottom. But this, and then there's a catalog number up in the upper right-hand corner. But this wonderful, wonderful Providence, and it was on display for years and years and years. And then it was sold when she died, and the family got it, and they eventually sold it to a collector. Then we acquired it. So all right, now we're going to change it and get the end of the powder horn. All right, there's the end of the plug on the powder horn. Beautifully done. It's got the brass mount on it, and of course it's got brass tacks around it, indicative to something you'd see in Texas. And wonderfully carved, great patina, untouched. All right, and then I'm going to get up on the spout, because there's a lot of powder horn collectors up there, or out there in Guru Land, that we do powder horns, and they like to look at this stuff. So I'm going to move around and get the spout, and then we'll just go to the hunting pouch. All right, I got you a little close-up of the spout at the end of the horn, so you can see how it's carved. But this guy carried this thing, and pioneer Indian fighter, the battle for the Republic of Texas with Sam Houston, and on and on. So and you can see the tacks at the far end around the base of the horn, and you can see the loan document that's on it. Just killer piece. And the last shot I'm going to get will be the pouch. All right, bear with me. I'm going to do this by hand. But you can see the leather pouch, just killer condition. There's a lot of shrinkage there. And it's leather and pigskin, indicative of something you'd see in Kentucky. And he was in Kentucky prior to moving to Texas. So I'm going to move up on it a little bit. It's in great condition for its age. Slowly. And you can see the two holes there, the little areas that the leather moves to the left. You can see the holes in it. And there would be rawhide in there that tied to the powder horn and held it with the bag. But this killer condition, absolute killer condition. I'm going to fade back. Try to get it all in there. Bear with me. We're shooting this thing on the fly. And then, if I'm lucky enough, I'm going to do the cover sheet so, you can see exactly who this guy is. So, and this be the final portion of it. Here we go. We're going to go down. All right. There he is, Captain Horatio Chriesman, 1797 to 1878. Born in Virginia, surveyor, Indian fighter, captain in the Texas Artillery, 1st Texas, served with Sam Houston in the Revolution, on and on. And there you go. And that'll conclude us. And I'm waiting on the line, so I'm going to get off. From the old guru,